Hi everybody, I'm gonna try and make this video really short, so I'm just gonna get straight into it. I have been getting a lot of requests to do Tupac Shakur, even though I tell people I don't do dead people no more. I've been getting a lot of requests to do him, and I'm here to inform you all that I have done Tupac Shakur, okay? I just wasn't downloading videos at that time, and I just did something else with what he told me about himself. I did Tupac Shakur with an elder on the line all the way from Zimbabwe, and she was kind of teaching me the steps of doing a seance. So I was on the phone with her all the time as she was saying to me, did you make a mistake? You didn't make a mistake. Do this, do that, do this. But Tupac Shakur was one of the easiest souls as a Bantu priestess that I ever had to pull, because his Bantu DNA was over 50%. So basically, he was one of us. I didn't realize that when I started from the Congo Basin. One of us from the Congo Basin. I didn't realize that when I started pulling him, of course, because you never know what you're getting, right? With Aliyah, she was Nilot, so it took a few requests to the Nilots. For those who don't understand what Bantu is and what Nilot is and what Creole is, Africa is made up of 3 different tribes, but we are biologically different, right? Like the Indians and the Chinese. I mean, they are both Asian, and the Arabs, the Indians, the Chinese, they are both Asians, right? But they are different biologically. You know what I mean? We are the same. So when I say the Bantus, the Nilos, the Creoles, please look at us in the same way. Like we, the Bantus, could be like the Chinese biologically, and the Nilots are like the Indians biologically. I mean, not, I'm just using rough examples, right? And the Creoles are, well, half Asiatic, so they could be like the Arabs, because the Creoles are really part Arab, part Bantu, really. The Creoles are part Arab, part Bantu. So the Creoles are Creoles, part Arab, part Bantu, right? So anyway, part Arab, part Bantu, and part Arab, part Nilot, right? So we're 3 distinct biologically different groups of human beings. There are also some more smaller groups of biologically distinct Africans, but I'm not gonna bore you with the whole list of them. Anyway, the Bantus are obviously number 3, because the largest population, I believe, are the Nilots, and they are followed by the Creoles, and the Bantus are number 3. And then there are other smaller biologically different like groups too, right? So anyway, African Americans are made up mostly of all 3 because of slavery and all that. You're mostly made up, but some of you have more Bantu DNA than Nilotic DNA or Creole DNA. You know what I'm saying? So, Tupac Shakur was that person. But that's not why I pulled him, because I had no idea. Like I said, when I pull a Creole, for instance, I don't know that they're Creole until I begin the process. When I pull a Nilot, I don't know that they are Nilots until I begin the process. And when I pull a Bantu, I don't know either. So the reason I chose Tupac Shakur is because I am a Rabbit fan. You can see I'm wearing his t-shirt. Okay, if you can't see it. Yeah, I have a lot of Tupac t-shirts. Okay. And I am the one who told my friends that he died, and the party stopped. The party stopped. Yes, I am that old. I used to rock to Tupac's music as and when it came out. I am old. Anyway, I chose him as my study case because I'm a fan. And I said, if I have this gift, I gotta use it. I gotta pull him out from the veil. And I gotta ask him, so who killed you? So that's what I did. Okay. And he was easy to pull, like I said, because I'm a Bantu priestess and he had over 50-something% Bantu DNA. So I pulled him the very first day. See, if I'm pulling from another kind of DNA configuration, it's a lot longer. If I'm pulling from my own, it's like just saying, tap, tap, hey, tap, tap, hey. And, so I pulled him and he downloaded the energy that is Tupac Shakur, decided to tell me who killed him, why, how, and what, through a story. He told me a story because I'm a writer. We are both creative souls. So he told me a story, which I then wrote and published. And it is called The Show Goes On by Madeleine Mitton, and it's on Smashwords. Okay. Yeah, that was a plug-in, but a true plug-in, because that's in the seance. Tupac Shakur chose to tell me a story. He chose to disassociate himself from what happened to him, and he chose to do it to tell me a story. And then he left me to finish it, right? But I'm very creative like that. So I did do the story, and if anybody is interested, okay, please help a bitch pay her cable bill by buying the story. It's called The Show Goes On by Madeleine Mitton. Okay, what did Tupac Shakur... Well, I'm not going to tell you the whole thing because that's a whole book. And I will confess right here, and I will tell you that I cried my heart out when I was writing that story, and when he was telling it to me, I cried. Okay? I cried. Because this was Tupac, the voice of a generation. Do you know what I'm saying? And I always thought he was pro-female and would never hurt a female. And after the story, I went and researched, and then I discovered that he went to prison. So I didn't know that because I'm African. That missed me. He went to prison for raping a female. Then I watched the female's videos of what she was saying. Then I realized that this is the similar story to what he told me. So the story is similar, but it's not the same girl, which answered some questions for me, because, well, it's not the same girl, but the story is similar. Let me just put it that way. Anyway, the way we think Tupac died is not the way he died. The urban legends of who killed him is not how he died. It's not who killed him. Okay. The story that he told me about who killed him is 200% opposite to what I then read afterwards. But I go with the soul. I am very firm about that. I go with what the soul says. And I was validated when I researched the rape story that had him in prison and what he had downloaded for me in what I called The Show Must Go On. Tupac did some things, but he wasn't alone. And I promised myself that I would never say it. I was going to keep it a secret, but I've told a couple of people. I haven't quite told, the other person in detail, and there's some, believe that once you put something out into the universe, it is going to be known no matter what you do. Okay, so since I shared the story with others, I am putting it on my channel that the book, The Show Goes On, is based on the story Tupac Shakur's soul downloaded to me as an answer to my question, who killed you? And I'm going to leave it at that, because if I say any more, fellow Tupac Shakur fans will be all over me, because what we believe to be true is not. But I always say truth is stranger than fiction. I always say that. Truth is stranger than fiction, okay? Fiction never gets as exciting, as gory, as all that in comparison to truth. So if you're really, really interested and you want to donate to a bitch's cable bill, because cable bills in Canada are very expensive. I'm at $350 a month, okay? If you want to donate to my cable bill, because writing is where I make most of my money, please buy a copy of The Show Goes On. And then maybe you can come underneath this thread and we can talk about it, okay? I am happy to discuss it, but I am not happy to regurgitate the story again because it broke my heart. Having said that, I did tell you that I researched what he was telling me with what I could find, because I used to be a reporter, with what I could find. And the story of the girl being raped is exactly, not exactly, but you know when two females have been raped by the same male, there are some things that stand out because they are the same. The story of the girl in The Show Goes On, who incidentally is a popular female artist. Okay? And what happened to the girl who went to the girl who reported Tupac for rape and he went to prison for it, there are similarities to the stories. And he was very detailed, and we did it over a course of 3 days, and I promised that I would never pull him out of the continuum again, because it's just not fair on a soul. The thing is, though, Tupac Shakur, despite his human experience, is a soul that knows right from wrong, and a soul that acknowledges what he did right and what he did wrong. He's a deep, deep soul who will be reincarnated soon. I'm not good with time, so I'm not going to say, but it will be less than 5 years from now, because his reincarnation time is almost there. And he will be reincarnated again into the black community, but I don't know. We never know which black community. But this time he'll be born in the 1%, and he will not be an entertainer. Tupac Shakur's life as an entertainer was more than he could take. And it led to his death. But not the way we think. I said to my friend, if I were to tell the world this, I would be shot. Nobody would believe me. So I wrote it, because Tupac Shakur's spirit told me to write. He said, you're a writer. Write it. So I did. So if anyone is interested about Tupac Shakur and what his soul said to me happened to him, please feel free to help your sister out with a cable bill and buy a copy of The Show Goes On Smashwords. I'll put the advert right after this. Because of that, because I wrote a book and I put his experiences in a book, and I did my part. My contract with the soul that is Tupac Shakur is done. I can never call him again. And that's why I cannot do him for this channel anymore, because I did. Okay, because I did. And he made me cry. I will not lie. And for a long time, I could not play his music. I have realized something about my psychic abilities, whether it is here or in Africa. it always something about the people I read. It always has to do with some kind of sexual abuse, and that's and my elders say to me, well, you're the priestess of fertility. Sex and fertility go together. So yeah, Tupac Shakur's death had to do with sexual abuse, and the person he pointed a finger at as his murderer, who will never get caught, is someone we know. And I am always wondering if I should track her down. So if you people read The Show Goes On and you get an inkling of who she is, please put it down. She didn't pull the trigger, but she paid for someone to pull the trigger. And it was done out of revenge. So if you people have a clue, because this is African American society and people and music, and I'm still kind of learning it. I'm on the edge of it and I'm learning it because I wasn't born in it. But because I tried to describe this female, well, I used creative license, but I tried to describe this female the way he gave her to me. But he also stated her disabilities, and he also stated that she did win a Grammy after he died. Okay. So thank you guys. Like I said, I have to add it at the end of this because I know none of you have been paying attention to it. But I will not do Tupac Shakur ever again out of respect, because he was my case study for learning how to do seances. Okay. So thank you. And I will play music because my ancestors like it.